Hello again, kids. Welcome back for another session of discovering and exploring your mysterious brain business. Why did I call it that? Because a lot of what goes on in our head is not seen or heard by others. Sometimes we try hard to keep it inside, but I do hope that you are starting to pass this mysterious information on to your family, your friends, and anyone really, so they can learn and know all about jitters. Just to recap, in the first session, I used the hand model to explain your brain. You discovered all the different parts that are affected by your fears and worries and how jitters makes you flip. So just to recap, your spinal cord and your brainstem are all about keeping you alive. The limbic system with the amygdala and the hippocampus is all about survival, and they work together to keep you safe. And the cortex, the thinking brain, where all the information you've learned over time helps you to listen to others, learn from them, use logic to understand whether something is truly dangerous or not, and use creativity to bring your best to different situations. In the second session, we looked at ways to unchain your brain during a flip by calming it down. The first thing was all about breathing, and the second thing was about using your imagination to get the thinking brain switched back on again. Hopefully by now you have a helpful tool that works for your brain to bring calm. Remember that we're all different, so keep looking for the best way to find calm. Be a detective, use your thinking brain. You can do that when it's nice and calm to come up with a great idea. Counting, colour, animals or places can all be helpful distractions to unchain your brain. And you don't have to buy anything from a shop to do it. Continue to help each other to find ways that will work to use your imagination for calm. Remember that the ground and your breath are your best friends. They go with you wherever you go and whatever you do. Now on to this session. If you recognise your flip, calm yourself down. The next thing you need to do is train your brain. This is the most important part of the whole thing, the greatest ending to the story. This is where you get to be your best. Give it a go. Enjoy what life has to offer. Try new things. Take up a challenge. Be more powerful than your jitters. So let's take action. Remember I told you about the hippocampus that kind of surrounds and connects with the amygdala? It's a funny name. It's definitely not a university for hippos. Many scientists say that it works so closely with the amygdala, or as I like to call it, the jitters. And when jitters sets up a flip, it's usually because something we felt nervous, scared, or embarrassed about is recorded in the hippocampus, a bit like a diary or a journal, which makes jitters flip the brain faster whenever something similar happens. Let me explain. Remember the example of the lion coming into the classroom? This would be where jitters does its best work. Your whole body would be switched on to survival mode and you would run away from the lion without even thinking about it. Soon after you've survived such a scary experience, the hippocampus would record all the details of what was happening at the same time. So walking back into your classroom could set off the jitters. Seeing a lion at the zoo could set off the jitters. You might not flip, but you would definitely feel nervous or anxious. Now, it's very rare that lions walk into classrooms in Australia. So here's a more common example that sets off the brain flip. Some kids and adults really don't like to make a speech in front of their class. Remember back in the first session, I said there are other jittery words like nervous and embarrassed. But is making a speech really dangerous? It's certainly not like running away from a lion. It's just you standing, talking about some topic. But many people, young and old, will tell you that giving a speech makes them feel the flip very strongly. This is one of those challenges I spoke about. We know it's not dangerous, so it's great to practice overcoming a brain flip in a situation like this. This is one place you could take action. And there are probably many more examples of times or places you could think of when your jitters goes off, but it isn't a dangerous situation. Jitters has it wrong. So what do we do about it? Let's use the example of making a speech. Imagine it's speech week, and it's your turn to give a speech, and you don't like giving speeches. This could be because you feel uncomfortable, or nervous, or embarrassed. When the time comes, you might get a twirling tummy, your heart might start thumping, your breath might get quick and be up in your chest, and as jitters sets up the flip, you might forget all your words, and then you might just try to get out of giving your speech, just like running away from a lion. This could happen the first time your teacher mentions speeches, or the day before, and usually just a few minutes before giving your speech. But if you've spent a lot of time preparing your speech, and you've written something great about some topic, and you've researched it and spent a lot of time, then it really should be shared with others. This is not a jitters moment. This is a take action moment. So you will need to manage your flip by first, take a breath. Notice things around you in the classroom. Take a breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Take a breath. Use your imagination to distract you from jitters. And even better, imagine yourself in 5 minutes' time after you've done it. How will you feel? The job will be done. You can be proud of yourself and feel good that you were successful in calming your jitters to get the job done. Who knows, you may even enjoy it. Training your brain will help you to grow. You may then start to feel successful and can be proud of beating your jitters. And you'll start to rub out the wrong information stored in the hippocampus that says you need to have fears and worries about things like making speeches, performing at a concert, trying something new, going to a party, or running in a race that are all not dangerous. You'll be able to tell your jitters firmly to back off. You're not needed here. Jitters may keep jangling, but you'll be calm enough to get the job done. So there you have it. Your brain is full of so many rich and wonderful resources to help you to be your best you. The same brain that gets chained up with fears and worries has everything it needs for you to take action, and even though you might still feel nervous, worried, or embarrassed, you can do it anyway. The more times you do take action, the less jittery you'll be. This is called confidence. So shall we see how it all ends for Alice now? When we left her after last session, she had just said, "Let go, Dad." Will she ride a bike? Will jitters get the best of her? Let's see. Dad let go and Alice started to push the pedals. The bike wobbled a bit at first, and then Alice began to push the pedals harder. She was so excited to be on her bike, riding around the park and having so much fun. She didn't even notice when the butterflies feeling disappeared. Jake suddenly whizzed past Alice and gave her such a fright that she toppled off the bike. Jitters never missed a chance and sprang into action. It was very loud and began teasing her. She thought, "I can't do it, and it's too scary." Alice felt her face get hot and the tears started to fall as she ran to her dad. Dad hugged Alice and wiped away her tears. "It's okay, Alice. Remember you felt so scared just before you got on your bike earlier? But when you calmed yourself, jitters got smaller. You felt calm and you rode around the park so well. You still have the same power. It's okay to get a fright when something happens you don't expect." When Alice felt better, she turned to her dad and said, "Jitters is getting smaller again now, and I've noticed something." "What's that?" asked Dad. "Jitters doesn't like me to be strong. Jitters doesn't like to be ignored," said Alice. Dad smiled. "That's because Jitters has a job to do, but sometimes Jitters does the job at the wrong time." "What do you mean?" Alice said, feeling a bit confused. Jitters helps to keep us safe, which is very important, but sometimes Jitters pops up to warn us of danger when there is no real danger around, said Dad. So I think riding my bike is fun, but Jitters thinks I'm in danger, Alice said. And then with a big grin she shouted, "It's okay, Jitters, I'm not in danger." Dad winked at Alice as she picked up her bike and climbed back on. "What a brave girl," said Dad with a big smile. "You're learning how to be more powerful than Jitters. Hooray for you." And just like last time, Alice sat for a while, breathed slowly and deeply, and Dad walked next to her for a few steps until she began to feel stronger and calmer. Dad stepped back as she happily pushed the pedals, one after the other. She couldn't stop smiling as she rode around the park. Mum and Dad sat at a picnic table and watched Alice ride her bike. When Alice rode past, they waved and shouted, "Hooray for Alice!" Jitters sat under the picnic table and sulked. With every ting-ting from the bright shiny bell on Alice's bike, Jitters got smaller and smaller and smaller. You may be wondering why Jitters didn't disappear or pop at the end. That is because Jitters has a very important job to do, which is to help us to stay safe. But some people find their jitters going off too many times and for things that aren't dangerous, like when they are doing something fun or some challenge or trying something new. Your thinking brain is far more useful in these situations. Jitters should not have all the power. A few butterflies are fine, but not the whole flip. When the brain is calm, your whole brain works together to help you to experience the world with all the different feelings. After this session, talk with your teacher and classmates about the type of job Jitters is needed for. When should Jitters make us flip? When does Jitters do its best work? If you have time, draw a picture of you when you are more powerful than Jitters. What would that look like? I said in the last session that I've seen many different pictures that children have drawn of Jitters, and just the same, I've seen many different ways that children draw their more powerful self. Share your drawings with each other and encourage each other to be more powerful than the Jitters. Now that you have discovered all of this mysterious brain business, I hope you will help others to overcome their fears and worries, because you're now an expert with all the know-how to explain your brain, unchain your brain, and train your brain. Go and be your best self. I'll be here cheering you on.